6 weeks after the first attacks, Earth remained in a state of anxious readiness. The alien mothership had taken up position near the moon, but had made no further aggressive moves. Smaller craft occasionally darted around Earth's orbit, ignoring all attempts at communication. In the underground military base beneath Denver, survivors from various attacks gathered to share what they knew. John Baker and Susan Reed had been brought directly from the Mars rescue ship to this secure facility. "The room is yours, Mr. Baker," said Colonel Richard Galt, nodding to John. John stood slowly, still weak from his time in the Mars bunker. His once full face had grown gaunt, his eyes haunted. "They knew exactly where to hit us," he said, his voice steady despite his appearance. "Their first shots disabled our defense systems before we even knew we were under attack. They weren't exploring or making contact. They came to kill." Around the room, similar stories emerged. Officer Andy Wilson from Lunar Base described how the aliens had targeted life support first. Dr. Pamela Wright from the Europa Research Station explained how they'd specifically destroyed all escape craft before attacking the main habitat. "These aren't random attacks," concluded Colonel Galt. "They're systematic elimination. The question is, why?" Dr. Wright cleared her throat. "Before they hit us, we detected unusual scans focused on our computer systems. I think they were gathering information." The implications settled heavily on the room. The aliens weren't just killing humans. They were studying them first. Outside the secure facility, humanity adjusted to life under threat. Schools ran drills for what to do in case of alien attack. Families stocked emergency supplies. The world's militaries worked together like never before, sharing technology and strategies. In orbit, hastily weaponized satellites and spacecraft formed Earth's first line of defense. Nobody believed they could stop the alien mothership, but they might slow it down. "We've translated some of their communications," announced Dr. Ben Coleman, head of the linguistics team. The room fell silent as he played an audio file. Strange clicking and humming sounds filled the air, followed by the computer's translation. "Human infestation more widespread than initial survey indicated. Cleansing protocols must be adjusted for efficiency." Susan gasped. "They're talking about us like we're pests." "That's exactly what they think we are," Dr. Coleman said grimly. "From what we've gathered, they consider themselves the rightful owners of this solar system. We're just vermin to be exterminated." John's fists clenched. "Then we need to show them we're more than that." The following day, President Bennett addressed a secret joint session of global military leaders. "We've tried peace. We've tried communication. Now we prepare for war." Operation Firewall began immediately. While the public face of humanity showed fear and disorganization, behind the scenes a bold plan took shape. Scientists worked around the clock studying the debris from destroyed alien craft, looking for weaknesses. Military engineers modified existing weapons based on their findings. In orbit, disguised as debris, special satellites recorded the aliens' every move, learning their patterns. "We only get one chance at this," Colonel Galt told the survivors-turned-advisors. "If we fail, Earth burns." John looked at the tactical display, showing the alien mothership's position. "When do we strike?" "Not yet," Galt replied. "First, we need to understand their technology better. We need to capture one of their scout ships intact." Susan, who had barely spoken since their rescue, suddenly looked up. "I think I know how to do it," she said quietly. All eyes turned to her. "They're hunting us, but we can set a trap." For the first time since the attacks began, a spark of hope lit the room. Perhaps humanity wasn't helpless after all. Susan Reed's plan was both simple and dangerous. The aliens had shown a pattern of attacking any human facility that broadcast specific types of signals. They seemed particularly interested in research data transmissions. "We set up a fake research outpost," she explained, pointing to a location in the asteroid belt. "We fill it with enough real equipment to fool their scanners. But we rig the entire station as a trap." Colonel Galt nodded slowly. "What kind of trap?" "An electromagnetic pulse web," said Dr. Wright. "Their ships use some form of energy field for both propulsion and defense. If we can disrupt it at the right frequency, we might be able to disable rather than destroy one." The plan took 3 weeks to implement. A decommissioned mining platform was retrofitted to look like a secret research station. Volunteers worked day and night installing equipment that would serve no purpose except to convince the aliens they had found an important target. Meanwhile, a small team of engineers installed the actual trap, powerful EMP generators hidden throughout the station's structure. John Baker insisted on being part of the skeleton crew that would remain on the station until the last possible moment. "I need to see this work," he told Susan before boarding the transport ship. "Just promise you'll get out in time," she replied, squeezing his hand. The station began broadcasting research data, real information about Earth's defenses, but outdated and modified to appear more valuable than it was. Then they waited. 5 days passed. The 6-person crew on the station watched and waited, jumping at every sensor reading. "Maybe they're not taking the bait," said Megan Clark, the team's communications expert. Just as she finished speaking, the alert sounded. "Contact," called out Rajpadal from the sensor station. "Object approaching at high speed, same signature as the alien scout ships." "Everyone to your stations," ordered John. "Remember the drill. Make it look good until the last possible moment." The team scrambled to their positions, making sure the station appeared fully operational but keeping the escape pods ready. The alien craft approached cautiously, scanning the station thoroughly. It circled twice before moving into what they now recognized as attack position. "They're preparing to fire," Raj reported, his voice steady despite the danger. "Wait for it," John said. "We need them closer." The alien ship moved in, weapons powering up. On the main screen, targeting lasers became visible as they swept across the station's hull. "Now," John shouted. Megan hit the activation switch. Throughout the station, hidden EMP generators powered up and released a precisely calibrated electromagnetic pulse. The waves spread outward, invisible but powerful. The effect on the alien ship was immediate. Its lights flickered, and it began to drift off course. The weapons powered down as the craft tumbled slowly in space. "It worked," Raj exclaimed. "Their systems are down." "Don't celebrate yet," John warned. "Phase 2, everyone to the escape pods now." As the team raced to evacuate, hidden thrusters activated, pushing the disabled alien craft into a specially designed docking bay. Magnetic clamps engaged automatically, securing the prize. The 6 crew members launched their escape pods just as the recovery team arrived in a heavily armored military transport. Their mission: retrieve the captured alien ship and bring it to Earth's secure facility on the moon. From the small window of his escape pod, John watched as the transport carefully secured its precious cargo. For the first time since the attacks began, he felt something close to satisfaction. The aliens had taken thousands of human lives, destroyed humanity's outposts throughout the solar system, and shown no remorse. Now, humanity had taken something of theirs. It wasn't justice, not yet, but it was a start. The captured alien scout ship arrived at the Lunar Defense Facility under heavy guard. Teams of scientists waited eagerly to examine humanity's first intact piece of alien technology. John Baker and Susan Reed were among the specialists called to assist with the research. Their first-hand experience with the aliens made them valuable despite not being military personnel. "The outer hull is like nothing we've ever seen," said Dr. Linda Graham, running her scanner over the smooth surface. "It's some kind of living metal that repairs itself." The ship was roughly the size of a bus, oval-shaped with no visible windows or doors. After 2 days of careful study, the team finally located what appeared to be an entry point. "We're ready to attempt access," announced Dr. Graham to the observation room full of military and scientific leaders. Susan squeezed John's hand as the team activated the opening sequence they had decoded from the ship's external control panel. With a soft hiss, a section of the hull reconfigured itself, forming a doorway. "Containment teams on standby," ordered Colonel Galt. Nobody knew if alien crew members might still be alive inside. The entry team moved cautiously into the ship. Their camera feeds showed a strange interior, organic-looking controls, and what appeared to be a cockpit designed for beings very different from humans. "No signs of crew," reported the team leader. "But there's something else here. Some kind of data core, still active." For the next week, experts worked around the clock to understand the alien technology. They discovered the ship's weapons systems, navigation charts, and eventually, its communication logs. "We've managed to access their mission records," Dr. Graham announced during the daily briefing. "And we found something unexpected." She displayed a series of translated text files on the main screen. "These aren't soldiers. They're what we might call environmental engineers. They refer to themselves as the gardeners." "Gardeners who kill people?" John asked skeptically. "They don't see it that way," Susan said slowly, reviewing the data. "According to these logs, they consider themselves caretakers of star systems. They prepare planets for what they call proper life forms." Colonel Galt frowned. "Prepare how?" "By removing what they consider invasive species," Dr. Graham explained. "Us." They discovered Earth during a routine survey and classified humans as a destructive organism damaging a potentially valuable ecosystem. The room fell silent as the implications sank in. The aliens hadn't attacked out of hatred or for conquest. To them, eliminating humans was simply maintenance work. "There's more," Susan added. "These scout ships are just the beginning. According to their communication logs, they've called for a full cleansing fleet. It's still months away. But when it arrives, they'll wipe us out completely," John finished. President Bennett joined the next meeting via secure video link. "Options, people. I need options. We can't match their technology in a direct fight," said General Howard. "Even with what we've learned from this ship, we're outmatched." "Then we don't fight conventionally," John suggested. "These beings think of themselves as gardeners, as caretakers. Maybe we need to convince them we're not weeds to be removed." "How do we do that?" asked the president. Susan stepped forward. "Their logs show they communicate with other species they consider proper life forms. They have protocols for recognition and non-aggression. If we could demonstrate that we meet their criteria, we need to speak their language." Dr. Graham nodded, "both literally and figuratively." President Bennett's expression hardened with determination. "Then that's what we'll do. Full resources at your disposal. If there's a way to communicate with these gardeners, find it. But simultaneously, I want our best minds working on weapons development. If diplomacy fails, we need to be ready to fight for our existence." John looked at the alien ship. Inside it lay the key to humanity's survival. If only they could unlock it in time. The research team worked day and night to develop a way to communicate with the aliens. Dr. Graham's linguistics division made the breakthrough when they discovered patterns in the aliens' communication system that matched certain mathematical principles. "They don't use words like we do," she explained to the gathered officials. "They communicate through mathematical concepts that represent ideas." Susan spent hours helping translate human concepts into the aliens' mathematical language. "It's like writing poetry with equations," she told John during a rare break. Dark circles had formed under her eyes from lack of sleep. Meanwhile, military preparations continued. The captured scout ship had yielded valuable information about the aliens' weapons and defenses. Earth scientists worked frantically to develop countermeasures before the main fleet arrived. "We've got something," Dr. Graham announced one morning, her voice hoarse from exhaustion. "We believe we can transmit a message they'll understand." The message was simple but profound. Humans were conscious beings who created art, music, literature, and advanced mathematics. They were caretakers of Earth's ecosystems, not merely destroyers. They requested recognition as a proper life form, according to the aliens' own classification system. President Bennett personally approved the transmission. "Send it," she ordered, "and may whoever's listening out there have the wisdom to hear us." The message was broadcast directly to the alien mothership using their own communication protocols. Then humanity held its breath and waited. 3 days passed with no response. The mothership remained in lunar orbit, its scout ships continuing their pattern of surveillance, but launching no new attacks. On the 4th day, sensors detected movement. The mothership was changing position. "They're moving toward Earth," General Howard reported grimly. All defense systems on high alert. But instead of attacking, the mothership took up position in high Earth orbit and broadcast a response. "We're receiving a transmission in their mathematical language," said Megan Clark, now heading the communication team. It's a request for proof." "Proof of what?" Colonel Galt demanded. "Proof that we're caretakers, not destroyers," Susan translated. "They want evidence that we protect life rather than just consume resources." John stepped forward. "Then we show them." Over the next 2 days, humanity presented its case. They transmitted images of nature preserves, endangered species conservation efforts, sustainable energy projects, and environmental restoration work. They showed how humans had begun to repair damage done in earlier, less enlightened times. "They're responding," Megan announced. The alien message came through clearly. "Provisional recognition granted. Evaluation period begins. Main cleansing fleet diverted to standby status." Relief swept through the command center, but Colonel Galt remained cautious. "What does evaluation period mean?" The answer came in the next transmission. The aliens would observe humanity for 1 Earth year before making a final determination. Their mothership would remain in orbit as a monitor. "They're giving us a chance to prove ourselves," Susan said. "Or they're stalling while they prepare for a more thorough attack," General Howard countered. President Bennett addressed the United Nations the following day. "We have been granted time, but not yet acceptance. For the next year, every nation, every person must demonstrate our commitment to protecting Earth's ecosystems. Our survival depends not just on our technology, but on showing these beings that we deserve to exist alongside them as caretakers of our world." John stood at the observation window of the lunar facility, looking toward the distant blue sphere of Earth. The alien mothership was visible as a small, bright point of light in orbit around their home. "Do you think they'll really give us a chance?" he asked Susan, who stood beside him. "I don't know," she replied honestly. "But whether they do or not, we still need justice for those they killed. Recognition isn't enough." John nodded. "One step at a time. First, we survive. Then we get justice." 6 months into the evaluation period, Earth had transformed. Nations worked together on massive environmental restoration projects. Military resources were diverted to clean up oceans, replant forests, and develop cleaner technologies. The aliens observed it all from their mothership, occasionally sending scout ships down for closer inspection. But behind this show of peaceful cooperation, another plan was taking shape. In a hidden facility beneath the Rocky Mountains, John Baker and a select team worked on what they called the Justice Project. While humanity publicly prepared to meet the alien standards as caretakers, this team prepared for the possibility that the aliens might still decide to eliminate them. "The scout ship has given us the key," John explained during a secret briefing with military leaders. "Their ships are all connected through a shared consciousness, not quite a hive mind, but a network that allows instant communication and coordination." "And we can use this?" asked General Howard. Susan nodded. "We've developed a digital virus that can infiltrate their network. If uploaded to the mothership, it could temporarily disable their entire fleet's weapon systems. But we need physical access to their main computer core," added Dr. Graham. "Someone would need to board the mothership." Colonel Galt shook his head. "Impossible. They don't allow any approach." "Not yet," John agreed. "But they might, if we give them the right incentive." The plan was audacious. Earth would offer to host a delegation of aliens to demonstrate human commitment to environmental stewardship. The real purpose would be to get alien representatives to use their shuttle to transport human delegates back to the mothership for further discussions. "It's a huge risk, President Bennett said when presented with the plan. If they discover our true intentions, they could decide we're hostile and eliminate us immediately. It's a risk we have to take, John argued. Even if they accept us now, what happens when they find another world they want to prepare? We need leverage to ensure not just our survival, but justice for those already lost. After 3 days of deliberation, the president approved the plan. A formal invitation was sent to the aliens, carefully crafted in their mathematical language, to suggest that a direct exchange would benefit their evaluation process. To everyone's surprise, the aliens agreed almost immediately. They're curious about us, Susan suggested. Their logs from the scout ship show they've never encountered a species that adapted so quickly to their standards. Preparations moved at lightning speed. 4 humans would make up the delegation. Dr. Graham as chief linguist, Susan to assist with translation, Colonel Galt as military representative, and John, whose experience with the aliens made him invaluable. The day of first contact arrived. A scout ship, larger than the one they had captured, descended to the specially prepared landing site in neutral Switzerland. World leaders and representatives gathered to witness the historic moment. The ship's door reconfigured, and 3 aliens emerged. They stood nearly 7 feet tall, with slender bodies covered in what looked like flexible armor. Their faces had no recognizable features except for 3 small orbs that might have been eyes. Dr. Graham stepped forward and presented the mathematical greeting they had prepared. The lead alien responded with a series of gestures accompanied by soft clicking sounds. They accept our invitation to show them our environmental projects, Susan translated quietly, and they invite our delegation to visit their ship afterward. John felt a mixture of triumph and terror. The first part of their plan had worked. Now came the dangerous part. As he boarded the alien shuttle alongside his colleagues, John thought of the thousands who had died in the initial attacks. The families torn apart, the colonies destroyed, the lives cut short. We will have justice, he whispered to himself, one way or another. The alien mothership was vast beyond imagination. As John and the human delegation followed their hosts through curved hallways that seemed alive, he carefully memorized their route. The plan was simple but dangerous. While Dr. Graham and Colonel Galt engaged the aliens in diplomatic discussions, John and Susan would slip away to find the central computer core. This way, the lead alien communicated through mathematical symbols that appeared in the air. We will show you our monitoring systems. Perfect, John thought. That should be close to what they needed. The aliens led them into a massive chamber filled with swirling holographic displays showing Earth from hundreds of different angles. The beauty of the planet seen through the aliens' monitoring systems was breathtaking. You have made significant progress, the alien leader indicated. Your species has shown unexpected adaptation. While Dr. Graham engaged the aliens in conversation about environmental restoration projects, John caught Susan's eye and gave a small nod. They had practiced this moment for weeks. Susan dropped the small device she had been carrying. As she bent to retrieve it, John asked a complex question that required all 3 aliens to focus on explaining their monitoring systems. In that moment of distraction, Susan slipped through a side entrance, and John followed seconds later. We have 5 minutes at most, Susan whispered as they hurried down the corridor. The schematics they had extracted from the scout ship had given them a basic understanding of the mothership's layout. They found the computer core chamber more easily than expected. It pulsed with energy, a living heart of technology. Cover me, Susan said, pulling out a small device. This was the virus carrier, designed to interface with alien technology. She approached the core and carefully attached it to what they believed was an access node. Suddenly, a soft alarm began to sound. They've detected us, John said, moving to block the entrance. Susan worked frantically, initiating the upload sequence. Just a few more seconds. The door slid open. John prepared to fight, but instead of alien guards, he saw Dr. Graham and Colonel Galt, escorted by the alien leader. We know what you attempt, The alien communicated directly to John's mind, abandoning the mathematical symbols. The sensation was disorienting. John stood firm. You killed thousands of our people without warning or reason. We deserve justice. Your understanding is incomplete, the alien replied. Our initial assessment was flawed. We have been observing your true nature during this period. The alien approached the computer core where Susan stood frozen, the virus partially uploaded. With a gesture, the alien stopped the alarm and allowed the upload to complete. We permit this, it communicated. Your virus will not harm us. We allowed you to develop it, to board our vessel, to reach this point. Colonel Galt stepped forward. Why? To test your response to aggression. You sought not destruction but justice. You developed means to disable, not destroy. Even facing extinction, you chose restraint. The central chamber filled with new holographic displays, not of Earth, but of human responses to the attacks. Scenes of mourning, of cooperation, of determination, and finally, of this very mission. The deaths we cause cannot be undone, the alien acknowledged. This we deeply regret. Our initial scans categorized humans as destructive parasites. We were wrong. Those responsible must face consequences, John insisted, thinking of Mars colony, of the faces of those who died. Agreed, the alien responded. I am Nexer, First Guardian. I ordered the cleansing protocol. I accept responsibility. Susan gasped. You're their leader. I am. And I offer reparation. Knowledge, technology, assistance in healing your world, and myself to face your justice system. John looked at the alien leader with new understanding. True justice isn't about revenge. It's about acknowledging wrongs and making things right. As they returned to Earth with Nexer, John realized that humanity had gained something unexpected. Not just survival or technology, but recognition from the stars that humans, despite their flaws, deserved their place in the universe. True justice had begun. The explosion rocked the ground beneath Ambassador William Grant's feet. Even through the thick glass of the Galactic Council observation deck, the sound reached him like distant thunder. His eyes widened as the feed showed New Horizon Colony's main habitat dome cracking open like an egg, spilling precious atmosphere into the void of space. This can't be happening, he whispered. Beside him, Samantha Powell gripped his arm so hard it hurt. Will, look at the ships. Those are council vessels. She was right. The sleek, silver warships bearing the unmistakable insignia of the Galactic Council were firing on the human colony. The same council that had welcomed Earth into galactic society just 3 years ago. The same council chambers they stood in now. We need to get out of here, Powell said, her voice steady despite the fear in her eyes. Now. Grant nodded, his diplomat's mind racing through possibilities. My office first. I need to grab something. They moved casually at first, nodding to alien representatives in the hallways. No one seemed concerned about the attack. In fact, many of the council species appeared to be going about their business as usual. In his office, Grant locked the door and moved quickly to his desk. He reached beneath it and pulled out a small data drive. What's that? Powell asked. Insurance, Grant said. I've been recording all closed council sessions for the past month. Something felt off. Powell's eyes widened. That's highly illegal under council law. And genocide isn't. Grant snapped, immediately regretting his tone. Sorry, Sam, but I think what we're seeing is just the beginning. He activated his secure terminal and connected the drive. Files flashed across the screen until he found what he was looking for, a recording from 3 days ago. He played it. On screen, High Counselor Vex of the Arcani species addressed a closed committee. The human expansion cannot be tolerated. Their adaptability and reproductive rates pose an existential threat to established order. The containment protocol will begin with outlying colonies. New Horizon will serve as the example. Powell covered her mouth. They planned this. They're going to kill us all. Grant downloaded the evidence to a portable device. Not if we warn Earth first. A sharp buzz from the door made them both jump. Ambassador Grant, came a voice through the intercom. This is Council Security. Please open the door immediately. Grant and Powell exchanged looks. The service corridor, he whispered. They slipped through a hidden panel in the wall, a feature Grant had discovered months ago during a private security assessment. The narrow corridor led them through the bowels of the massive council station, past humming machinery, and through maintenance shafts. The diplomatic hangar is our best bet, Powell said as they paused at a junction. Your credentials should still work. And if they don't? Grant asked. Powell pulled a small device from her pocket. 4 years in council intelligence before becoming a diplomat. I've got tricks. They reached the hangar without incident, which only increased Grant's anxiety. At the docking bay, they found Grant's personal shuttle, a sleek, Earth-made vessel assigned for his diplomatic duties. Powell's device bypassed the increased security protocols, and they boarded quickly. Grant took the pilot's seat while Powell worked on disabling the tracking systems. We need to take the Cygnus corridor, Grant said, firing up the engines. It's dangerous, but less monitored. The radiation will fry the standard tracking beacons, Powell agreed. But council ships will still follow. The hangar doors opened as alarms began to sound throughout the station. Grant pushed the throttle forward, and the diplomatic vessel shot into space. Behind them, the council station grew smaller. Ahead lay a dangerous journey through contested space, and somewhere beyond, Earth remained unaware of the betrayal or the extinction plan already in motion. They'll be coming for us, Powell said quietly. Grant nodded grimly. Let them come. We have the truth.